Hello and welcome back. Today I will talk about the right hand finger notations. And as you can see here, ukulele has got high G tuning or low G tuning. In a high G tuning, the fourth string is a high G, but the notation is still the same because the open string of the fourth string is high G for ukulele with high G tuning. So for example, this concert here has got high G, so you play this song for the high G. So this note here will refer to this open string here, and then the second note here is the third string open, which is the C, and then the second string is E for open string. This is the second string here, and then this is the first string, the open string A. So you get from bottom to the top C, G, E, A. And the fingering normally is denoted with the alphabets P, I, M, A. P refers to the thumb, I is the index finger, M is the middle finger, and A is the ring finger. So if you see a P here, it means you are supposed to play with the thumb like this. And if you see an I here, it means you're supposed to play with the index finger like this. And if you see an M, you are supposed to play with the middle finger. And if you see an A, you are supposed to play with the index, with the ring finger. P, I, M, A. Okay, let's look at the low G tuning. For the low G tuning, the only difference is the fourth string. So the fourth string is tuned to the low G, as you can see here, but the string is still the same, the fourth string, and this will be a tenor with the fourth string. You could also tune your concert to a low G, as I've explained before in the previous few videos. So over here, the notes are still the same except for the fourth string, which is the low G, G, C, E, A, G, C, E, and A. And the notation is still the same, exactly. So it doesn't matter whatever music sheet you're looking at, whenever you play the fourth string, whether it's high G or low G, you still use the same notation for the tabs. The only clue whether it's high G or low G is when you look at the music notes on top on a stave. That's when you know this is a high G and this is a low G. But just by looking at the tabs, you can't tell whether it's high G or low G. So for the practical purposes, when you are playing music for classical ukulele, whenever you see music sheet with a P indicating the fourth string, just follow it exactly. You are still playing a G, whether it's high or low, it's still the G, just that it is one octave difference, that's all, it doesn't matter really. So why the need to have notations for the right hand? Okay, the reason is because if you are playing plucking, and ukulele classical is plucking, that means you pluck on the string, it will make sense to have a way to denote which finger you want to use to pluck which string. So that's why we came up with the notation P, I, M, A, which is similar to classical guitar as well, P, I, M, A. And here is an example in exercise 1 where you have how the P, I, M, A notation is used to denote the strings. So for example, in the first measure, this is called one measure. One measure consists of a bar in front and a bar at the back. So the way you play this is you rest your finger on the strings. Naturally, P will come on the fourth string, I will come on the third string, M will fall on the second string, and A will fall on the first string. So to play this first measure, will be just to press down on the P, and then lift up on the I, lift up on the M, and lift up on the A. Okay, in classical guitar there are two types of stroke, the free stroke and the rest stroke. The free stroke is where you just pluck and your finger rests in the air after you pluck. This is called the free stroke. It does not rest on the next string. But on the rest stroke, you rest your finger on the next string like this. Right? This is called tirando, and this is called apoyando for classical guitar. But for ukulele classical, most of the time we don't play apoyando because the fret is smaller and you don't need to do that. So we just pluck. We just play tirando for almost all the classical ukulele pieces. That means we don't play like this. Like in classical guitar, sometimes you might do this for the first string. But for the first string in classical guitar, you would sometimes play like this. Because the apoyando stroke tends to increase the volume for the string that you applying the apoyando. For example, if you want this to be the melody, you will do this. That will be louder. But for ukulele, we just play normally with tirando. We don't use apoyando because of the narrowness of the fret. So we just play like this. Right? We just play tirando. Okay, and then the second measure is where we need to differentiate between the strings. For example, here you play P, then the next one will be M, middle finger, because middle finger naturally rests on the second string. And next one is I, is a fourth string. This I. And the last one is A. Why? Because A naturally rests on the first string. So before you start playing, rest your finger naturally on the strings like this. B on the fourth, I on the third, M on the second, and A on the first. So B, I, M, A. And then when you have to play the fourth string, your P is already ready on the fourth string. Then when you have to play the second string, your M is already there. Just pull it up. And when you have to play the third string, your I is already there in position. So just pull it up, plug it up. And when you have to play the first string, your A is already there. So just pull it up. Okay, so just to play through the first two measures, starting from here, it will be like this. B, I, M, A. Then the second measure from here will be P, M, I, A. Okay? Alright, then we come to the third measure. Here is where things get a little bit different. Notice that after the thumb plays the fourth string, all the remaining other three notes fall on the first string. So how do you play? Your ring finger is already on the first string. So are you going to play like this? Alright, that will be bad practice, because in playing a string instrument, we will always want to walk the finger. That means rotate the finger. So if your fourth string has already got, your first string already has got the A there, when you first strike it, you will use the A. Then you will alternate with the M. That means the M will go down from the third string, from the second string, go down to the first string. This one, middle finger. And then followed by back to the A. So you do it like this. B, A, or B, A, 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 B, A. Okay, the idea is to alternate and not just like this. Alright, now the same principle holds for the fourth measure, applies for the fourth measure. For the fourth measure, this time you are playing the 3 notes on the second string. So after playing your thumb on the fourth string, you will play M, because M is already there on the second string by default. So you play it first in the middle finger, then I, your I will come down to the middle finger, to the second string, and then now your M will play. So you rotate like this. Alright, so B, M, I, M, B, M, I, M. Alright, so for the third and the fourth measure, this is how it's played. B, A on the first string, M on the first string, A on the first string. Then for the fourth measure, B on the fourth string, M second string, I second string, and M second string. Alright, so that's how you will play your strings based on the correct right hand technique. Other things I want to mention is these 2 parallel bars with dots. This means repeat. So that means when you play through this and you count to at the end and you see these 2 dots, that means you repeat one more time from the beginning until here. Okay, so let's try that together now, starting from here. Ready? Let's go. Repeat. Okay, you got it. Now the last thing I want to mention is these notes. This is a quarter note or crotchet, and it takes 1 count. So in this measure here, if it's not mentioned, it means that there are 4 counts to 1 measure. 1 measure, 4 counts. And if you want to have 1 note representing 1 count, you will use the quarter note. So 1 crochet means 1 count. So you will count it as 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. Okay, so that's how you would finger the right hand, and also the meaning of PIMA. And that's all for this video. Go ahead and practice this, and you can download this music sheet from my website, as I mentioned earlier in the earlier videos. Thank you very much for watching. See you in the next one.